Well, I'll tell y'all that it comes a little moment that I decide I'm going to come on again and try to, do like what I did the last time around with these African mahogany St. Nicholas figures. Decide that I'm going to try to do it now with the genuine mahogany ones. You see, they probably got worse burns on them than the African mahoganies do. Even more recently, when I did that outdoor power carving video, I showed how the genuine mahogany might burn from the rotary tool a little more easily than the African mahogany does, and there kind of like comes to be little reasons why, and so that's what we come down to here. And I say that this is just work that we take in our hands and do. I say that it's just kind of things that we work and say, and when it comes down about to it, this is what we have to do. I say that this is just the good stuff we need. When it comes down to this, we make little places where we kind of put the wood in place, and we're going to quit talking in circles for a moment. We got a little burn there removed. We've got other little burns to remove here. We kind of got some from around the hood here. We're going to kind of do away with those and try to make it so it's going to give us the look of the figure, and finally the little burning marks are going to come up. We're going to do away with that. Try to get the little mess out of the way with this. Kind of work about it. Make it so it comes about its way. We see that this is just the kind of thing where it's going to be where we get a little bit removed here and there. You see there's a little burn here on the ruffle. We're going to get a little more rid of that. Sometimes, just sometimes, it helps to kind of take your time about these things. There's things in life that I just learn little by little, little at a time. They make their way to what we do and how we do it. I say, oh, the time in our lives when we see what it's all going to make its way down to being. I'm going to take what I have here where there's that little burn up there, try to remove that little mark, try to chip it away so we get the little burning passion out of it, and make our way to where we see good little things, just how they come about. And so it's just time that we spend on about all that we do. There's not been much I've been able to get around to as lately, because I'll tell y'all, I was at work today, working my early morning day, and having the time when I'd say that things just happened happen like they do. And so I was in the walk-in freezer today and just chipping up ice. There was some trash in the freezer as well, some pieces of food that had fallen randomly out of boxes. I had to sweep up all of that, and so we finally got to where we took care of little things like that. I say that there's going to be times when we're going to work along this place, make things so they show about how we can do a little work we can do, and then show how it kind of makes a little way round to us, and trying to get rid of things the best we can. I'd like to mention how there's also little burns here in some other places. Most of these I feel like we've gotten from around the head, but maybe when it comes down to it, there's going to be a place where we gotta get rid of that. I think we'll get rid of these ones up here that are right behind the ruffle. It's probably going to take a longer video to do even just one with this genuine mahogany because it's a much harder wood. And I'll tell y'all, people, if I was a TV show, you know, I'd be getting really low ratings. Like to share little things about a little live I was attending the other night. Young lady who was selling crystal balls, and how she kinda does where puts them in rows and gives them little numbers for you to claim by, and in the group you put claim by this and claim by that. And I mean, I tell y'all, bless her heart, she was probably having a little rough night there because she was kind of feeling like she was picking up the wrong ones, kind of misunderstanding people as far as what they were trying to claim, and kind of came on there and said, I really need somebody to beat my hand with a ruler. You know, not sure. I kind of decided to make a little comment on that and put RE colon ruler joke, and then put a laughing emoji after that. Then she said, I mean literally, I literally need someone to do it. Couldn't really comment on that, but I tell y'all something, people. You know, we don't know what all is going to be said in places, you know, as far as how people are going to come. You know, there's been different cultures, different people have been in, and we all just kind of see things different ways with different things. Sometimes I feel like this world can be such a place where we don't really see things the way we ought to see things, and we all just kind of have different views on different things, and we all just kind of see things happen the way we do. Sometimes, just sometimes, feel like I'm in a world where little statements are made, and sometimes it brings thoughts to us that make us think. You know, the world kind of gets a little messed up now and then. That's why, you know, there's a place in Ecclesiastes 1 that says, one generation passes away and another one comes, but earth abides forever. Meaning that earth is going to last for a long time. We're always going to be on this same earth, but of course times are going to change, generations are going to change, people are going to change, and you know, we kind of see how different ones of us in different times, we all see little different points of view with things. all kind of see things little different ways. I'm just kind of finding so many of these little burn marks to get rid of. Sometimes for me, it could be a little hard to try to do a little live show, a little online live. It would be kind of hard for me to really be able to tell exactly what people want, what they're claiming. I'd have a hard time about it, but you know, I've followed people because they make all these posts about God and posts about Jesus and posts about the Lord, and sometimes I just hear a lot of good testimonies here and there from people. Sometimes they share little Bible verses, and I appreciate people who do that. And we've kind of had a lot of people in our family who knew the Bible well, and they taught it to us, and they knew it well. They could kind of tell you so much of what it said, and we know these days that there's a lot to say, a lot to do when it comes to those times we cherish our people. I say there's a little burn marks on the top of the little hymn. I think I'm going to try to get rid of those there. Wanted to mention, after I got out of the freezer at work today, I was kind of working on the oven after that. I don't ever bake in it, but it is a big oven, a big one, like one of those tall types that are built into the wall that you kind of can walk into and walk out of with things, and put them on racks and put the racks in there to let something cook. I mean, those things, I mean, they'd be kind of scary to me. A lot of reasons why, and wouldn't want to stress it all, but we're just thankful that people in this world, in the workplace, they're not cruel enough to lock you in there and turn it on. That would be so horrible. And I kind of did a little thing today where I sort of cleaned the inside of that door, cleaned the outside of the door, cleaned the handle, and then there were these little carts they put into the oven to kind of put things on to cook, and I had to clean those off today. Probably I kind of cleaned a couple today, but we're going to have one last one to do tomorrow, so that's going to go the way it's going to go, and we're going to take care of that when in its own time for the best of all we can do. Sometimes I say, after I'm chipping off these burn marks, I'm chipping off other wood as well, just to try to make it so it all fits the way it should, works the way it should, comes out in the fine lines that it should, and I'd say the work shall make its way down and show us all a little joy and laughter and help for ourselves. You know, little time and effort goes into the things we do. I say there's probably places here around the body, probably forgot to take care of those with the power carver, but there's some extra wood along here we need to get rid of, where it kind of has still some saw marks on it. We need to get rid of those saw marks with the knife, and so this could take long enough for a whole video's time to do all of this, but we're gonna get it all done here, make it so it's going to be just what we ought to have it to be. And I just got reminded of one more thing, one more show I had to put on my calendar that I signed up for. There is a sip and shop at the Winchester Opera House on July 1st and July 2nd. That's a Saturday and a Sunday, and by the time I heard about it, I had already signed up for another show on Sunday of that weekend, which is a show here in Lexington, so I signed up for Saturday only of the Sip and Shop, and so that was just the way that was going to go from there. And I'll be coming back to do my show in Lexington the next day, and so it's not all that much Christmas in July, that show isn't, but I've probably got plenty of stuff in my inventory that I can take there. By the time I get finished with most of this stuff, I'll more than likely be able to have some dogs ready to be taken to the shows. Thankfully, I don't have any shows scheduled for June, because June is a time when I feel like I might need to have about a month to kind of rest up from all I've got to do to work in the school system, and so that's how that little bit of work is going its way. And then we've might have a little time to recover after that. I only have to work through next Tuesday. You can probably also understand how there's the people who you find that they have to work all year around. Sometimes some people do have to work all year around, doing different things, different places at different times. There's people I've worked with in the school cafeteria who work other jobs as well. There's one of them I know who has also worked at Rupp Arena, and then there's one of them who, she works managing at McDonald's overnight, and after she manages at McDonald's overnight, then the next place she comes is to the school cafeteria to work in the first part of the day, and that's kind of where it all goes from there. Couldn't imagine, working all night and then for the first part of the next day. That's just a lot of work to do all at once in the day. There's people I've worked with, they have more to do than I have, but I'd say some of us are just more disabled than others of us. I have a friend on the spectrum who lives in Florida. I talked with her last night, and the fact of the matter is I can't say any names because, names are a private thing, but, there were things we talked about to which I told her, you ought to be getting benefits and a check from the government like I am, and she kind of told me a thing or two, and it finally came down to her just saying, I don't qualify. So, I tell you, it's sad how everybody has different things about us. Some of us, we qualify for things, others of us don't. And even for me, it was really hard to get that, There were certain things it took for me to get that, and certain things that I have to keep up with these days and turn in these days just to try to keep things in line like that, because sometimes I have to give them proof of what I'm making and whatnot, and hopefully I could probably say that I could hope one day I could make enough with my business that perhaps I wouldn't really have so much to deal with as far as just the disability stuff goes. I'd probably be paying my taxes like other people and paying other incomes, but I'd say that a pension is something that in the long run I'm just thinking I'm going to need. It's going to come down to being what it's going to come down to being, and as we see here, work is going to kind of make its way around us and to us. Oh, the blessed times in our lives we see joy coming to us, and see joy working in us. I say this is a time when we get away on this guy, and finally I think we got rid of all the burn marks on him. As far as I could tell, probably got one or two here below the boot we still have to get rid of. Like I said, on these pieces it can take a little bit of a longer time because it's a harder wood and it burns more easily from the power carver, so it's just where we kind of chip things away, see the best we know how to do in all this. I say that there's so much we learn little bit over time, I tell y'all, and there ain't nothing we learn overnight ever. This little time when we work our way about this and finally see what it's all gonna make itself come out in the end to be. I say work our way through it, work our way to it, work our way do it, and then finally make it to where we're going to see a little brighter ways in us, working in us, shining in us, brightening our lives to where we're going to always be able to just see the end of what we do. We work our way to what we make, what we do, and what we earn, and what we win in life. I say that little workouts can be a good thing to us. Since my thumb protector fell off, don't know how much longer I'll go about this, but finally think I got it all. If there's anything left on here to be chipped away, I'd say it's probably something that away from the camera I will get an opportunity to do. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.